Good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, one and all. We're doing a slightly different chinwag today. We're not sure we got the full hour in us. We're not going to blame the heat for that. There's just really not that much to talk about. But, however, whilst not much has changed in the pinball world, quite a lot has changed in the flipperama world in terms of comings and goings. Let's cut straight to the chase. So the man cave there's the extension. The man cave used to finish. Basically, you can see that. Now we have this whole other section there. And as you may well be able to see, there's a squatter. Well, it's not a squatter. It's
It's on its legs. It's not squatted, mate.
Yes, left a very nasty mess. Welcome, Spencer.
Dirty.
Do you know what number chinwag we are on?
Do you know, I haven't got a clue. Are we on 50?
No.
No. What are we on then?
47.
47. Oh, crikey. 50 is going to be a bit of a milestone, isn't it?
Well, I did sort of have it in my mind. It's not quite. We started about a year ago, really, to take the channel seriously. If you want to start, trying to upload regularly. So it's 47 chinwags, and I sort of had it in my mind to do 52, obviously between pin fests, basically, because I think it's like GMT. It's like Greenwich being the established time zone. If you were by which all time is measured, I do feel in flipperama terms everything is measured
In weights.
by the quantum of pin fests. Basically,
So Pinfest is basically the meridian, is what you're saying.
It's a meridian.
Absolutely.
I think there has to be, for me, 52 chinwags in between each Pinfest. I don't know, mate.
Does that mean that when you go to Pinfest, is there a line that you can stand on where if one half of you is on last year's Pinfest and the other half's on this year's Pinfest or next year's? I don't know how it works.
It absolutely is. That being said, we've obviously done a lot more than just the chinwags. Lots of other videos on there. We've got a couple of doubles games coming up soon, haven't we? As well.
Yeah, we've recorded a few of those actually, haven't we? We need to get those live. We need to put those up.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, I've not even had internet, and there's been all sorts of stuff go. As you can see, there's literally cables hanging. There's all sorts going on down here. So, slightly old swamp.
I can't believe you're actually doing it in this heat. Just to give it a bit of context. Obviously, if you come back and watch this in 6 months' time, you're not going to know what we're talking about. But the temperatures in the UK at the moment are, well, sometimes hitting 40 degrees. We're having a bit of a heat wave. So I'm amazed. I am amazed that you're outside in the garden building in this heat.
No, I've stopped building. I mean, it's actually 16 degrees in here.
Oh, that's pretty good. You got the aircon on.
The aircon's not even switched on at the moment. It's all that Celotex.
Wow.
I don't think I've got the Celotex. I've also got the acoustic installation. And then I've also got, basically over most of it, is carpet tiles as well, which offers another layer of insulation. So Celotex in the floor, in the walls, and in the roof. So don't get me wrong, towards the end of the day, it will start to get a little bit hotter. But I mean, it's unbearable outside at the moment. So this is the place to be, mate. But honestly, I can flick that on. I had that running most of the day yesterday. It just kept it at sort of 16, 17 degrees. So yeah, there's nothing in here. I can't have it on now because it's too noisy. Obviously,
it's too noisy.
So we played a game of doubles. You played you played Toy Story.
I did play Toy Story, and I loved Toy Story. I thought it was a great game. It definitely had that, I want to push the start button again.
Definitely,
sort of vibe about it. I would happily have one in my house. I know a lot of people were a little bit scathing about it because of some of the theme issues. But as a game,
it was theme and price. It was theme and price. Yeah. Price. I think the question is, would you have that at the price it is, which is over 12 grand against, whatever. Well, use Cactus Canyon as an example because it was the last game here before at 8 grand. You'd choose Cactus, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. But having said that, if I'll say this, if money was no object, and you had the space for a few pins, and you wanted a fun pin, it's a crowd pleaser. You can't go wrong with it.
We had a good game of doubles on it, didn't we?
We did.
It was actually fun, and I think it's one thing, because I'm going to talk about Rush a little bit later. So, to have sort of 3 pins come in, sort of really quickly, which was obviously Cactus came in and went, Toy Story came in and went, and literally on the same day these things are getting swapped over. So obviously Rush came in as well, and I did as soon as Toy Story went.
I get to play Rush tomorrow, don't I? I'm coming up to yours tomorrow.
Well, not for very long, unfortunately. It's unfortunately. Don't worry about that, because we're going to Medway Pinball Club, aren't we, to do some filming?
We are
talk
indeed.
About a little bit later.
Just quick heads up for that. There is. Hold
on. No, let's not do that just yet. I'll tell you why. I want to focus on that. I want to stick on Toy Story if we can for the moment, just because the dub. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves jumping onto the next thing before we've covered that. So when that went, I was very mindful of how fun it had been, actually. And Toy Story went, I thought, hold on a second, because Rush came in, and Rush isn't fun.
Is it not?
Right? No. You know what my premise about games is, right? Now,
yes.
About fun, entertaining playing, and then you've got shooters. Rush is a shooter. I mean, some excellent, really, really good shots on it. But I was mindful of what a laugh we'd had playing doubles on Toy Story.
Yeah, we did. We did have a proper giggle doing that.
Yeah. It was, and we recorded it, so we'll share that with you shortly. But that was so that was really interesting for that to come in, and it was. I you know what? I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the fun game. But for Rush to come in, it wasn't. I thought, it's a shooter. Now, obviously, we'd lost. We'd lost Congo and lost Congo and so on.
We do miss Congo. Poor Congo. He had a good innings. He had a good send off.
Yeah, he did have a good send off. But it's a shooter. You pick the shots, and that's something that Toy Story just isn't a shooter, basically, in that sense. And Rush came in and thought, oh wow, okay. So you almost went from sort of like the fun of the fair to like snooker. Do you know what I mean? Like darts. It's all very precision. So really, really, really interesting, actually. That coming in. But how
are you finding it as a game? I mean, how are you finding the not only the physical gameplay but the theme? How's that going down?
Oh, how long have you got? Again, you hear all these. You've got to almost sometimes shut out the noise, and you definitely have to make up your own mind on things, because you don't know. So you hear all the stuff, people are underwhelmed with the theme and all the rest of it, and I get that, but I didn't know Rush from any other band really, and I don't know how I'd escaped. But you got to remember, I like the Who, I like Deep Purple, I like Bad Company. I don't mean hanging out with you. I mean the band. You're welcome. I do like classic rock, right? So obviously this machine comes in. I'm expecting it to be horrendous. And I don't like metal. I don't like thrash metal. I don't like AC/DC. I don't like Iron Maiden. I don't like that music. So Rush came in. I was expecting it to be terrible. I thought, hold on, it's quite a catchy tune. Well, and it had 4 or 5 catchy tunes. The more I played it, I actually quite like this music, actually. To such an extent, it made me almost, want to get the, I thought this could go on the playlist in the, everyone will have a classic rock stuff in, for the motor, for when I'm on a drive and that. So I quite liked that. Then I was just immediately impressed with the shots.
Okay. So you've got your shots there. You like the music. Yeah. How does the gameplay progress? How do you know where you're going with it? Is there
no?
Okay,
no, I haven't got a clue. We'll talk about Godzilla quite a lot. I need the rule sheet for Rush to learn it. Okay. With Godzilla, the game teaches you. I don't want to focus too much on Godzilla now, because I want to stick on Rush for a bit. Otherwise, we'll kind of jump in between.
The same is true with Toy Story. I mean, literally, you could walk up to that machine and Buzz Lightyear would tell you what you had to hit. So there was no need to get any rules out at all, and we were both happily playing that game without having to go and read a PDF or go and get a manual out and start flicking through it to work out what the hell we were trying to achieve.
Well, this is what comes down to theme. So it's sort of, I think theme is too encompassing a word for a pinball machine. So actually, people say I don't like the theme. Well, actually, the band's not bad. Okay, but here's what I think about the theme. See, I don't. I've got no particular love for Godzilla. I never watched Godzilla as a kid. I don't know about Godzilla. However, the theme, in terms of the story. Now, the story is the rules. The story is there. I find to basically pinball's a set of shots and ramps and targets. I find the story is there to talk you through it, to help you learn the rules. What do I have to do on Attack from Mars? Well, we all know what I have to do, or what you have to do on Attack from Mars. The spaceship's attacking Paris. You've got to kill the flying saucer and send the Martians away from that city. It's quite clear what you've got to do. Now, the story of that helps you know what shots to hit. Okay, and already
it gives it context, doesn't it?
It gives it context. Already, I'm in. Look, I'm looking. See the thing behind me, Monster Bash. What's the story of You tell me. What's the story of Monster Bash?
Oh, basically, you've got to collect all the musical instruments for the various characters so they can play in a gig.
Absolutely right. Okay, so collect the band members, collect the instruments. You get it. So if at some point during the game you're missing Dracula's guitar or whatever it may be, Creature in the Black Lagoon's saxophone, you can see it on it. Okay, I know what I've got to do. I can't complete this until I've got that. But so the story allows you to look for the next shot, right? And the storyline all the way. So Godzilla, the story's very good, very simple. You basically have 4 cities, and you got to smash them up. You got to smash up some trains. You got to smash up a bridge. You got to battle one monster. You got to knock out.
It's a bit like an Arsenal away game, then, really.
It is, or an 1830s holiday, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then the cavalry gets sent in, and you got to knock them out as well. Battle one monster, and then you move on to the next city. We'll get on to that in a second. But I get that. I get that, and it's all very easy. So I know the story of that, which explains the game rules. I don't know what a story of a band is, and this is where music.
Well, there isn't one, is there?
No. So So can you explain to me? And I'm not talking about how the Beatles got together or anything like that. What is the story of AC/DC? What's the story of Iron Maiden? I don't know.
God knows.
I just don't know. So that in itself has me scratching around thinking, what shot have I got to hit next? I don't understand what the game wants me to do. Even something like Jurassic Park, it's actually quite tenuous when you think of the story. Actually, okay, I know the story of Jurassic Park. Geezer opens up a park, extracts DNA from a mosquito and blah, blah, blah,
we've seen the films. We know
we've
the story.
We've seen the film, but it's almost too big. It's too big a story to be a set of rules. Do you understand? That's big. So actually you get it. You're going from one paddock to the next paddock. You've got to rescue dinosaurs, but also you've got to rescue staff. Then there's some sort of DNA thing as well. But also you've got to call a helicopter in. Almost the only thing that makes sense on Jurassic Park to me, in terms of I understand it, is when you're in T-Rex mode and you can see the T-Rex is chasing you. You're in a truck. I think, I get this. Yeah. Okay, basically you hit shots to get away from the T-Rex, and every time you hit the track, you change gear so you get a little bit faster. I get that. It's really simple. They've taken. I mean, the Jurassic Park one, as you say, is a very tenuous tie-in. That is about the only scene that is a complete scene from one of the movies. The rest of it is all inspired by the film. They've taken a concept, as you say, and kind of woven it into a pinball machine and given it a theme so that it's appealing for people that like Jurassic Park. But the actual story is too complicated. I don't mean in terms of watching the film, but to try and tie that into something where you've got to hit, 8 shots on a pinball machine and make them understandable as to why you're hitting them, it becomes too much. When, of course, I think that the very pinnacle of that is, for me, is Avengers Infinity Quest.
I could never get my head around that.
Well, I don't know, because I always said with that, it'd been much easier if that was a Thor pinball machine, or and actually you would just don't have to be Thor, pick your character, whatever. I guess it could be Spider-Man. They've already done him. Do you know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying. And just battling 1 or 2 characters. But at the moment, I think so. There's 5 or 6 good guys. There's loads of. Are they called the Black Order or something? There was loads of them. There's loads of bad guys, loads of good guys, loads of bad guys. then you had to collect these gems and
and the crazy gauntlet with the gems that could be moved around from A to B to C, and you could assign a gem to a particular character to get too much.
Exactly. So
just too much.
At this point, you think it leaves you scrambling for the PDF or for some clarification from somewhere, or even it might even just be word of mouth. Might be talking to someone else. Say, can you clarify these rules for me? Can I look at the PDF? Can I watch a video? And I think that's the thing. So I'm enjoying the shots on Rush, but I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I don't know whether the band have split up and I'm getting back together. I don't know if I'm collecting instruments. I don't know what I don't know what the story is. So I don't. And then there's a time machine in it. What I don't know the story of Rush. I don't know why there's a time machine in a.
Are they from a different time?
I don't know. Is it an album? If it was Doctor Who, I would get why there was a time machine in there. I don't okay, there's a TARDIS. I get that. There's some Daleks over there. There's there's the cyber dudes or whatever.
Cybermen, Sontarans, whatever you want. You go off and battle them, not a problem.
But I get why there's a time machine. So immediately, I don't understand the theme. Why is there a time machine? I'm not entirely sure. Because I don't understand the story, I don't know when I'm meant to be hitting the time machine. Do you know what I mean?
You see, I don't understand the reference to the bell is it AC/DC?
AC/DC has a bell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I haven't got a clue because I don't know anything about the band. But on the flip side, you got on really well with Lord of the Rings, didn't you?
Yes, which is tenuous, but I am a lot. There's no point me picking up models. I've done it so many. You get it. I love Lord of the Rings, right?
No, you do. Yeah.
So I understand that the Fellowship have got across the bridge. I know who the Balrog is. I know what's coming. I know when the Balrog arrives, what's coming next. I do understand what the Warg Riders are bad guys. I get it. I understand what the ultimate mission is. I understand, even though I might not get there. So it doesn't seem like a complicated rule set to me. Because I know the story.
Because you've got a hook into it and you've got some context. But you see, for me, I mean, I do know Lord of the Rings, but I'm not au fait with it. I would struggle to remember who was who. Is he a bad guy or a good guy? And which ones are they're the ones on the horses. Okay, but I'd have to remind myself the whole time because I'm not that familiar with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I can get how Lord of the Rings would be complicated. But I am looking at it thinking, okay, right. So where's Isengard then? I'm looking around on the machine for that sort of thing because that's just it. So it all sort of ties in, all sorts of makes sense on that. But so I found myself having playing Rush and enjoying Rush. But because I don't know what's going on, I don't
know why.
No, I'm seeing shots, so I don't know. I wouldn't know how to score big or anything. However, the upper flipper shot is a dream on it. The way it loops in, so it's got a flipper shot, not dissimilar to Star Trek.
Nice. Okay. The warp shot.
The warp shot.
Yeah.
Hits it really well. It's got a strange sort of double scoop thing in the middle, which I don't mind, to be honest with you. There's a glitch on it. The right to left orbit travels through some pops, and it can go. If it doesn't hit the pops, it can go straight down the middle. And it's enough. It's enough where Jakey, my son, for those of you who don't know, had 4 games on it, and it happened every game. He's just walked away. Doesn't want to play it anymore.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it's quite easy to get high-pitched and indignant when that keeps on happening, isn't it?
It is. Well, and also he doesn't need to. And that's the trouble. It's like, don't like this, I'm going to go and play Monster Bash. And I say to him, well, give it a go. But I've got to say, it does have excellent shots, Rush. I mean, really, really good shots. So I'd like to learn it. I've got to, I will be downloading the stuff and trying to learn the rule set. But I do whilst I do enjoy the music, I did find me wishing it had a more understandable story. So I knew what shot to hit after I'd hit the warp ramp, and then what shot to hit after that, because it ain't obvious, because the story ain't clear, because a band doesn't really. There is no simple story to a band.
There's no path through the game.
There's not. There's really not, unless, and unfortunately, because all these band games are tied in with the albums. One thing I found about AC/DC, it was like a jukebox at the back of it, and all the songs were listed. I think you need to know almost a little bit about the band, a little bit about the songs or whatever, and each song had a mode. Each song was a mode, and each mode would obviously ask you, as modes do, ask you to hit shots in a different sequence and whatnot. But each mode would do different things. Would ask you to do different things, ask you to do different shots, require different things, and that, which was I don't know. I just found it, because I wasn't interested in it as well. I think doesn't help. If you're interested, you might try and learn a little bit more. But yeah, that was. But yeah, Rush is. I've got to say, Rush is no. Having said all of that, that's the theme. I thought the music's good, and I think the shots are good.
I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with the band. I mean, obviously, it's a bit like a bit like Kiss. Rush is big in America. There's funnily enough, actually, I've got some friends of mine that make drums for a living. Not a bunch of hippies. We're talking, proper drum kits. Not like a friend of ours. Yes. But they make proper drum kits from scratch. They're making their own drums, and they said, "Oh, there's a Rush game," and they got really excited about it because if you're into that sort of music scene, drummers and guitarists and people like that will know Rush, and they will be familiar with it. But the general public, I mean, in the States, they are big, the same as Kiss is in the States. Over here, you're vaguely aware that there's a band that paint themselves up with all these weird things and stick their tongues out. But apart from that, you may or may not have heard their music or be familiar with them. And the same is true for Rush. So I think it's a bit of it's going to be a limited theme in the UK anyway for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might get one and retheme it as Thrush. It's like an SCD theme. They got the chlamydia ramp.
I was going for Garden Birds, but you've gone in a completely different direction.
No, gonorrhea multi-ball.
Oh, that would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Here today, gonorrhea tomorrow.
Absolutely. You go down to there could be the go down to the doctors for a shot.
Absolutely. That is literally the skill shot.
You got to get yourself down the docks, and not in the way that you're thinking.
It's when nobody knows, and you walk into a room full of people. You say, "I've got a Thrush limited edition."
Of course you have. It's all right. We got something for that, young man.
Absolutely. Before we move on and talk Godzilla, I've got to get some announcements.
We've got announcements. I didn't know we had
announcements. Housekeeping, as they say. Okay, UK Pinball Open, which is obviously in Croydon. Let me just get the dates right. 20. Oh my words. 20 to 22nd, 29th for the 9th, right? 29th for the 9th to the 2nd of the 10th, right?
That's 29th of September.
Okay. This is the UK Open. Neil is putting on the top prize. The top prize is now £5,000 due to additional sponsors coming in. The top prize is £5,000. There's been loads and loads of sign-ups there. Good representation from the UK. Lots of the world's top players are going. The link, I'll pop the link to that thread, which is on the forum. I'll put that in the description below under here. But if you haven't signed up for that, you probably need to do so, because apparently the hotel rooms at the Hilton and some of the surrounding hotels are basically they've only, I think Neil said, they only reserved rooms for the tournament for so long before they'll go out to general sale and public sale. So if you are thinking of going, you need to book rooms, and you need to do it sooner rather than later. We've also obviously got Pinfest is a smidgen under 6 weeks away now, which hopefully everybody is looking forward to. Everyone's getting excited about that. Ant is bringing his Terminator 2, which he is literally finishing, I think, today as we speak. The last part is the gun. It looks amazing. It looks like nothing I've ever seen. I'm going to film that. I'm going to go and film that over the next couple of days. I'm really, really excited. Excuse me, I've got the chinos. I'm really excited to go and watch that. I was going to say play it. I'm not even sure I'll be allowed to play it. I mean, it looks so gorgeous. It's I've never seen it.
Did you have to play with the white gloves on?
Yes. You should go and have a look. I think I'm going to ask him all this stuff in there, but some of the chromies, it looks like got etching on, like an engraving, or I don't know, whatever. But it's so shiny and so beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to going and seeing that, and really looking forward to sharing that with everybody. But that's going to Pinfest as well, alongside lots of other things. Just in case you missed the previous Pinfest, the Classics tournament at Pinfest is paying a grand top prize.
Yeah. Get yourself into the Classics. I think that is a pretty safe bet. A pretty safe bet. That's worth a punt. That really is. Get yourself into the Classics. Good fun. Yep. Good prize, and actually a good chance of placing somewhere. Really good chance.
You never know with these old machines, mate. Do you know what I mean? They're so brutal. They got such big flipper gaps and all the rest of it, and
keep that ball in play.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
All you got to do.
Absolutely. So, it's been interesting. Really looking forward to doing that, and I think there's been hopefully quite a big uptake on that as well. Right, Godzilla. So
Godzilla, tell me about Godzilla, because you've had Godzilla now for what, a week and a half? Or is it not that long?
I don't know, quite that long. Maybe a week.
A week.
Maybe a week.
Okay. I think it turned up last Wednesday, didn't it? Just after the podcast. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday.
Maybe you're right. Magnificent. It's just magnificent. Honestly. I cannot praise it high. I cannot praise it high.
You can't just use a superlative like that without qualifying it. That was a good word.
Fabulous.
Superlative.
It's sensational.
Inspiring. You're amazing.
No, it really is. I tell you what, if you can only have one pinball machine, it should be that. I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much, but I will say that much.
That's big talk. You need to justify that now. I need to know what is going on with that. Then. Why is it so good?
I feel that Elwin's so everything I've already said about all these other games. So it's not like Jurassic Park is not a fantastic game. Jurassic Park is a fantastic game. It really, really is. I think it's a smidgen too hard, and I think it could be a little bit hard to understand. I think the best shots of almost any machine that I played had been probably Avengers Infinity Quest, but I've already detailed why I think that didn't work for me. I think I've already made my case for Iron Maiden as well in that sense because of the theme.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's obviously Keith Elwin has probably learned from all of those, and he has made an approachable pinball machine.
He's basically been watching you for the last year on here.
You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? He's got to get his machine for somewhere. This is it, and I reckon he's watching this now and he's singing STD Pimp Rush.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rush. Gonorrhea multi-ball, eh?
Yeah. Doctors for a shot. Lovely.
So like chlamydia ramp. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Syphilis side drain. Is that He's like, okay.
It would be ball save in your whole new meaning, wouldn't it?
Ball save would be really good. Literally, a hand comes out and cups you. What's it? There you go. There's the mech you've all been waiting for. It's a bit cold, Keith. On the LE, it's actually Keith that does it.
Yes.
Anyway, just take a strange turn. He probably won't watch. I hope he doesn't. He definitely won't. Anyway, so he's nailed it on this one. I really do feel that. So he's made it approachable. So at the start of the game, it's very kind. So the skill shot. So the skill shot on Toy Story is awful, right? Awful, just awful.
Is that because you couldn't make it and I did?
No, it's just awful. It's just awful. I challenge anyone to come on it. Tell me, right? It's not fun. It's a real soft plunge. It
isn't. I have no issue with a soft plunge.
All right. Okay.
I liked the skill shot on Congo, and I was very good at that.
But that's different. It's totally different. So I tell you
what, but that goes across the playfield down.
So I'd say that's a medium plunge, but also it's not the only one. It's not the only skill shot you can do.
No, it's not. Right? But it's the most challenging, and I enjoyed that. I didn't mind the one on Toy Story. I found it a little bit hit and miss. I mean, I wasn't getting it every time. You couldn't dial it in.
No, you couldn't. No.
It did have a bit of a luck feel about it, but
yeah. Well, this is different. So there's several skill shots on this. Several.
Okay.
And one of them you'll love it because one of them you have to launch and it has to go behind the middle flipper. It's brilliant. And if you don't, you can just do a soft plunge. It will still get a save. And what it does is really generous in terms of the ball save time, which actually at the start, particularly if you're a new player, remember I said about Jakey walking away. Because it was just too cruel, it was too harsh on him, and it ruled him out straight away. And I think it's poor design. I've got to say. I think it's poor design in the fact of, you need to hook people early on. And it keeps you in the game. It's not going to, that game will not destroy you in the first 25 seconds, basically. It's very, very generous there. Also, I think it's quite kind in terms of shots. I don't find it overly penal, basically. And it's the STD one again. But it's got, what's the word I'm looking? It's got elements of danger in it, So the single pop bumper can chuck it down the outlane. Don't make no mistake about it. It can introduce an element of jeopardy in it.
You can see that on Deadpool, because there's a single pop there as well.
No, it's not.
On the right hand side, you go up the centre there. There is a pop there that can fire.
I see. Yeah, but that can be quite. That can also be quite kind as well, because you can catch that.
It can be very kind, but it's very unpredictable.
It is. Well, this is good. Funny enough, this can pop it in the scoop. The scoop is not an easy shot on here, by the way. I think the most difficult shot on here is the scoop.
You said that about Toy Story, and I've got about 20 in a row.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
You don't
yes,
like
you did.
Scoop, do you?
No, I do. It's just you get used to Monster Bash. It's like that big.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm not doing a very good job of describing it. It's so, the shots are so good. Think of a Steve Ritchie machine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that sort of that design where the left ramp feeds the left flipper, the right ramp feeds the right flipper. And it's got flow, because you can do that and you can do that and you can do that. This has flow, but totally different. This has unpredictable flow. So the ball is flowing round, but not on a predictable path at all. The ball can change path. Go on.
And again, going back to Deadpool, I mean, Deadpool, when you first look at it, you don't see the path to get to the katana, because it's round a 90 across a gap, and then up another ramp and across. And when you first do it, you go, "Oh, I didn't realize it's not a continuous ramp in the traditional sense."
No, well, this has got that, but on the flat, not on the not on ramps. There's not that many ramps on it, really, to be fair. But it deviates. So there's one of them from the upper flipper, which is called the tail flip, which will basically just take you down behind a pop bumper and bring you back to the bottom of the playfield. Or you catch it a little bit higher than that, and it will take you on an upper loop around the playfield. So you can either be at the top of the playfield, up the bottom of the playfield very, very quickly, but not in a cruel and nasty way. You can still hit the shots. Your reaction's got to be quite quick on this game. To be fair, there's also another one which you hit off the right flipper, which can then go behind the middle flipper, and then either loop back round or sort of loop its way, almost figure of eight its way up the top of the playfield. I mean, it's amazing. Wow. It is absolutely amazing. The loops off the top flipper are really hittable. I mean, they really are. And what I really like is you hit the first loop off the top flipper, and then it lights. So you're really scoring from any subsequent shots after that, so it will really reward you for looping a number of them, which I really, really like. Because I've been on games before where you hit shots lots of times, you get into the rhythm of doing it, and it doesn't particularly reward you. It's just sort of fun. I'm just sort of enjoying doing this. So I think that's really good as well. The ramps feel sweet. Honestly, they feel absolutely fantastic on this game. And there's a sequence on Jurassic Park, right? Which I called a super duper skill shot. You plunge the ball. You then hit the T-Rex ramp. Yeah. It then comes down. You then hit the ramp on the right-hand side, the twirly-whirly ramp. It then comes down off that flipper, and then you hit it up into the guard tower or whatever it is. So basically, it's like 3 or 4 sequence of 3 or 4 shots. And when you hit them, it feels good. But it's a special thing. It's a rare occurrence, right? For me,
anyway. You're not going to do it every time,
but it feels great. Oh wow, this does it all the time. It is very, very. It's very normal on this game to do the skill shot, plunge it, hit it behind the upper flipper. It comes back down to hit it off the left flipper. It'll go up a ramp. It comes down. You then hit you've hit the right ramp. Then you hit the left ramp. Then you hit the right ramp again. And you need to hit the ramps to activate the battle in the system. Basically, you choose which monster to battle. So you can start, the very start of your game is often a combination of 3 or 4 shots, and there's all these secret combinations.
That's rewarding.
It feels good. It just feels, the shots feel right. The shots feel like they are where they should be. The battles are really good. I really like them. Just like the first one is that Keith now?
No. It is. It's come up. Okay, sorry about that. That's on silent.
Don't matter. So the first monster you battle, and there's not loads of them. This is the thing. There's 4 monsters you can battle because there's 4 cities. But then you get these double up, team up things, which are really good. But when someone comes in to help you, it's either it's either a playfield multiplier or it's a or it's an adder ball or something like that. But you can control when the adder ball happens by pressing the button, which is really, really good. So what you can do is you can play out a multi-ball, and at the point where you're down, you lose your last ball, you can press adder ball and you get all the balls back again, which is really nice. There's also this thing on there called oxygen saver or oxygen reactor or something. I don't know. But basically, let's say the ball drains. It lets you have it back, and it gives you 10 seconds to hit a sequence of shots to save your ball.
Okay, so basically, it's a ball save, but retrospectively, right? You can have this back, but you've got to do something with it.
You've got to earn it. You've got to earn.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So basically, and it's counting down. It's 10, 9, 8, and I was like, this is fantastic.
So there's a bit of jeopardy in there as well.
There's jeopardy there. The charging of you charge up a gamma ray or whatever it is, and it's really good because you can't just press the action button. You have to hold it down. As you hold it down, it goes, it's going up the percentage up to 100%. Like that. Nice. A bit like your car, Spence.
It's very like my car. The Batmobile makes exactly that sound.
It does.
It's almost verbatim,
but not as fast as that.
No, it's much slower.
So you do that, and then you've got to hit the spinner shot. So basically, you're charging up the whatever it is, the gamma ray or whatever, and then you've got to hit the spinner shot. And how ferociously it spins, or how many spins it gets, determines how many points you acquire from it. Just really, really good. And it's just trying to find the right time, because you've got to hold it down. It probably takes about 3 seconds to charge it up, and the more times you do it, the longer it takes. It just finding the right time to do this. Also, now I phoned up Craig because Craig's got one at the same time, right? On the same match. Yeah.
He's got a new inbox.
Yeah, yes. This
is the same. This is Craig Pullen. Yeah, he's got a new inbox.
Mate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He got Godzilla.
Wow. Because that's unusual for him. He's not usually a new inbox fan, is he?
Well, look, we'll let him, Craig, hopefully we'll get Craig on before Pinfest and he can tell you all about it himself. But he's very excited, very, very, very excited, and absolutely loving it. So I found it really hard to trap the ball. Really hard to trap the ball, as well as I could control it maybe on other games, but drop catch, live catch, do a lot of bounce passes on it and stuff like that.
With a Bristol accent?
Absolutely, yeah. The bounce pass. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So I was really struggling with it, and I said, I don't know if the angle on my flippers is right. And Craig said, no, there's nothing wrong with your game. It's how he's designed it. He said the flipper arrangement is different, and I hadn't even considered it. Hadn't even looked at it.
In what way different? Just describe how it's different. I'm curious.
The slingshots are. I don't know if I can do this with the. I don't know. In fact, I won't. It'll be.
I'll tell you what. Ed, you can end it in a
probably can't if I'm. I probably can't if I'm going to get it in. Get this uploaded today. The slingshot, the position of the bottom of the slingshot, the bottom star post of the slingshot is not near the flipper. So
right.
slings, the position of the
it's okay.
So you can't do the post pass on it.
Right.
But also sort of the angle, just the way they are. I don't. Whatever he can explain it better, but it's been designed to be fast. It's meant to be a flow game. You're not meant to be able to trap and stop the ball very often. Apparently, you're meant to be hitting it on the fly all the time.
I am a flow player. You see me play. I do very little trapping and moving the ball around, controlling the ball in the bottom end of the playfield. I love flow. I love just ramp after ramp and just keeping that ball going. And that sounds right up my street in that case.
It's an amazing, it really is an amazing game, and it feels it's made a lot of stuff feel excuse me, a bit dated. Actually, I've got to say, I don't mean anything here, by the way. Absolutely loving it, but I've thought of other games. I thought actually it does feel like he's moved it on to the next level, and I think it's quite miraculous, really, because there's only so many. You've got a bit of words that's so big to play with. There's only so many designs you'd think that can be done, and innovation is going to be quite difficult on it. So to come up with sort of new shots and new ways, new paths around the playfield, and I think it's really very ingenious. I've stayed away from it when people have said, "Oh, Elwin's a genius" and all the rest of it. Okay, well, let's just wait and see on that one, shall we? But it is a miraculous design. It is a miraculous design. I just think he's got it. The theme is just right. As I say, it doesn't matter. I've got no love for Godzilla. Godzilla is no more.
Okay. But the story is enough of a guide to get you through the game.
Yeah, well, I get it. It could be Godzilla. Yeah. It could be. I've got no more love of Godzilla than King Kong for us. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a King Kong game.
Could be King Kong going around smashing up New York, right? It really could, but it's enough, and because it's enough, I'm looking at it thinking, how many more times I've got to hit the bridge? Because I understand the story. How many more times I've got to hit the bridge? How many more? Because after a while, they'll send the tanks in, right? And jet fighters and stuff like that. Basically, you're Godzilla, and they're trying to. They don't want you to smash the city up, I'm guessing.
Well, I would think not.
So I think, okay, how many jets have I got to get? How many more power lines have I got to knock down? Now, here's the thing, right? So to move on from a city, you don't have to complete all this stuff. It's not like you have to kill all. I might have to. I probably got. I'm not had the machine that long. Might be wrong. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to kill all 4 tanks or knock the bridge out or get all the power.
You can bail at any point, can you? To a certain degree. There's a few basic things to get.
You've got to have fought a monster, and you won't be able to fight the monster until you've hit the ramps. I've made it sound more simple than it is. There's other things that pop up like this. I think it's called Rampage or something. Where it wants you to hit combos really quickly, but that's all part of the game. You don't have to do that. It's not going to penalise you if you don't do it. You just don't. It doesn't yield the additional points. But as long as you've battled a monster, you don't even have to beat the monster. As long as you've battled him, or her. Then
do they have non-binary monsters on there?
No, they go someone you got to watch out for.
No,
so they're very, yeah, absolutely. They get very, very, very awkward about it. They want their own particular toilet. So anyway, so it's you're doing this, but as long as you have battled them, it gives you the option to move on to the next city, which you can do. I find the biggest problem with moving from one city to the other is the bloody scoop shot, because he's done it on purpose. He can't make all of this easy and accessible. You've got to make something tricky, and the scoop shot is right next to the pop bumper, which is dangerous. There's dangerous areas. But then sometimes so for instance, the first monster on there, he wants you to hit. There's 3 spinners on it. So it wants you to hit all the 3 spinners, and it's telling you on there. So that countdown is one of them wants 15 spins of that one, 15 spins of that one. The middle one might be 50 spins. I couldn't remember, right? And then once you've done that, then you've got to hit the pop bumper, and that defeats that monster. So generally, you can do the 2 spins. You can do them. The 2 wide spins, you can almost hit the shot once. The middle spin, when it wants 50 or whatever on, you've almost got to hit it twice. Then you hit the pop bumper. That completes it. That beats the monster.
Wow, that's okay.
That one's easy enough.
It's simple, but is challenging enough, and there's enough side missions that if you really want to go down the rabbit hole on it, you can do.
Oh yeah. So I don't. And here's the thing. I said to you, I will never, ever, ever get to the end on Jurassic Park, and I just wouldn't have done. I know I wouldn't have done. No. I'll never do everything on here, but I do feel like I definitely feel I may well get to battle all four cities.
It's one of those things. I mean, harping back to my oldest machine, which was theatre. You could choose to play that machine to get points, or you could choose to play that machine to get to Wizard. Now, my record on Wizard was 2.5 times around the whole thing, but it didn't necessarily result in the best score because there are different strategies for doing different things. And it sounds to a certain degree that if you want to try for a high score and you're not bothered about getting to Wizard, you might get there, anyway by just keeping the ball in play and being good. But you can. It sounds like you can go for score, or you can really just okay, I've done that monster. I'm going to ditch that onto the next one because I'm going for Wizard mode.
Yes,
like you've got that
but if you were going for the score, you'd want to do everything, I think, on the city before you move on. Yes, because those bonuses then carry over onto the next city, and so I've seen some pretty big scores, and it's got that thing on it, which a lot of them have got now, where is a way to multiply your score. Batman's got it in abundance. You can really boost your score with multipliers, whereas Attack from Mars doesn't. You're not going. You basically you could. The person that plays
this is where Craig put something in the comments saying, "Oh, yes, it does."
Oh no. But no. Basically, if you play Attack from Mars, you have a game that lasts 20 minutes. You're going to beat the guy that's probably played it for 10-15 minutes, right? Because there's no super secret way where you know what I mean. You're gonna have to just go through it. I don't find, not unless there's something I don't know about, which I don't think there is. There's no big way where you're going to suddenly turn. Get 15 billion because you've got a multiplier. Like Star Wars, you can do that thing, and as long as you've got all your multipliers up, you can keep hitting it. Actually, you doing a video mode for your asteroid field can earn you billions. It's just not gonna happen on Attack from Mars. Batman, if you get it right and you've got all your multipliers, basically, if I've got all my multipliers, all my ducks lined up before I play the final run in the Joker mode, I can play it, and I play it, and you play it as well. Even if we play it just as well as each other, I'm going to smash you because I've got all the little secret squirrel stuff lined up, right? And the multipliers. We could be both on the same sort of form, play as equally well as each other. But if I've got my multipliers sorted out, which some of it can come down to luck, there's no doubt about it, then I'll smash your score. There's ways on there, whereas if you get to a certain bit and if you know what you're doing, there's a strategy you could really score high. I've seen, I've seen people do it. So it's good. So I think it's got enough there for the really good players and the players that can get to that point and you really to get the big scores. But there's enough for people like me. There's plenty there. It's really really good. I'm hugely impressed with it, and
so it's very, so not only is it rewarding for a beginner and an experienced player, it's a very flexible game. It sounds great. I mean, I can see why people are raving about it. I can't wait to. I played the one at Pinball Republic, and I was very impressed with it there.
Yeah,
but that wasn't the one with the collapsing bridge and all the toys on it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the difference is, and I'm also interested in your opinion as to whether it's worth having those toys and and how much it brings to the game.
I don't think it is worth having them.
Okay,
I don't think it is. The magnet's brilliant, but the magnet's on all of them. The way it grabs the ball and then chucks it in a different direction, it just honestly, it's very clever. It's very very clever. The bridge, I could take it or leave it. To be fair, the collapsing building, I like the way it changes the ball paths, and I can see. And there's one point. So if you've got two balls locked, I think it is, then both ramps are feeding the right flipper, and that's not always what you want. So I can see how that could be a sort of strategy that changes the ball path. And actually, I want it on the left flipper so I can hit that bloody shot there. The collapsing building is very clever. Okay, it has its downside though. It stops you having another quick game afterwards if you've got two balls trapped. If you've got two balls locked, because what it has to do, the building has to lower. So you're there thinking, right, on another game, and you're pressing the button, the building has to lower, release the balls,
spit the
balls go down the middle, the building raises up. So listen, I'm being, that's very modern, isn't it? It's like 25 seconds really annoys me. It's probably not even that long. I could take or leave that building. I do like the virtual. I'd definitely take or leave the bridge. I do like the ramp shot though. It's the Mecha Godzilla. I think that's pretty cool. The magnet on there where he sort of looks like he catches it, but it's actually the way that turntable sort of changes. I like that.
Okay,
that.
so that is worth having.
Yes, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's worth £2,000. Is what I'm saying.
No. I can see where you're coming from on that.
It's like someone said to me, Deadpool's got Deadpool Pro, and so someone said, oh, you got to have the premium. Do you know what I mean? That additional ramp is an orbit. Basically, that additional orbit is well worth an extra $2,500. And he said, "Oh, nice, cool. It's really fine." No, it really ain't. But don't get me wrong, I don't regret it at all. I'm really pleased I got that. So I like the premium. I really do. I think it's great. But the Pro, I don't think I'm getting any more fun. I don't feel.
Okay, no, I understand.
I don't think you're getting any more fun. I think all of that stuff that I said before when I praised the machine, everything. When I'm saying that, if anyone's watching this has got a Pro, that all applies to them anyway. They, the Pro has got the 3 spinners. The Pro has got all of that flow. The ramps are the same. The ball changing part is neat on the building. It really is. And actually, it's quite nice to have the visual thing when you've got the 2 balls locked on the top of the building, because it's like in any game, if you can time your multi-ball up to a point where you're about to hit a mode, activate the mode, then initiate the multi-ball, and that's really good. So it does give you that visual aid.
Any bugs on it? Anything that you found on it that as you mentioned before with Rush, with the ability to pretty much center drain it? Is there anything on there that is annoying at all?
Okay, there's a shot. There's a shot which is, and people that have got it will know it, and people that have played it have got it. It's not meant to be a shot. So basically, it's a loop. It's to the left. It's in between the building and the magnet, and and basically it's a loop that's not meant to be a shot, and it goes straight down the middle. Okay, I mean it just goes straight down the middle. However, apparently it's not meant to be a shot, and I don't believe it. By the way, I think it's the one mistake in the game. However, because it's been patched. So they've got a code, so basically it gives, when it happens, it's clearly such an error, they give you the ball back.
So a bit like the 2-second ball save on the Truncon Theatre. There's a timed ball save once you've made that shot,
which was probably only on a later bit of the ROM, right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I'm not having all that. That it's like with this thing. Where sometimes the odd Jurassic Park get popped out the gate, that's meant to happen. No, it's not. That being said, I think every machine's got something,
yes.
and I actually don't mind. I think I think the patch works absolutely fine. And do you know what? There's no reward for hitting it at all. So and it's when I said earlier the shots are where they're meant to be. I don't find myself accidentally hitting it very often. Very rarely.
Okay.
I can go a whole game, 3 balls. You know what I mean? I'll go a whole game without hitting the shot once. It's that your aim. What you're aiming for is either far left enough or far right enough to not worry about it. It's just got tremendous shots in it. And look, when I played it at Neil's, I knew it was a good game. When I played it at Pinball Republic, I knew it was a good game. But as you cannot beat quality time, Spence. Quality private section.
Shut the curtains. Put on some soft music.
Exactly that, with a pinball machine to really learn it, and even I didn't realise how good it was, and I do understand why people are praising it as the best pinball machine that's ever made. Whilst I wouldn't go to those extremes, because I've just not had it for long enough. Yeah, and I think it's quite.
That's a big tag to put on any machine, because it's like comparing chalk and cheese, isn't it? There's great old Bally Williams machines. There's great electromechanical machines. It's a very good machine. Is it the best in the world? I think it'd be hard to give any machine that label.
Well, do you know what? The funny thing is, somebody said to me the other day, "Oh, my favourite game's Fishtails." That's really hard. Really hard. Not that I would argue with someone, because I don't think you should argue with someone. It's like someone else. Like when someone says, it's like you said to someone, "My favourite food is this," and someone tries to argue with you. Well, what?
Actually, it's my favourite. I'm entitled to that.
You may well like curry, but that's my favourite. But if you were argumentative like that, let's say, it'd be very hard to argue that Godzilla was a better game than Fishtails, because actually someone's reasoning for liking Fishtails would be very hard to argue against, because it is fantastic. It is fantastic, and particularly in its simplicity. And it'd be very, very hard for you to say, "Oh no, but this is no." Actually, they're possibly liking. They like a different set of parameters within a game.
Absolutely, everybody's personal preference is different, and it may be that after a hard day at work, when you get in and you're absolutely knackered and your brain's fried and all the rest of it, you just want something familiar.
Rush. You want a nice game of Rush?
Thrush would do it. Yes. The STD multi-ball.
Absolutely. Nice,
yeah, there's that is I used to find that with theatre. It was just nice to have a familiar game that was you didn't really have to think about, that you knew backwards, and for that reason, that's why I kept it for 20 years. Is it the best game in the world? Well, for me at that time, yes, it was.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the best game is the game that you own. I mean, if you own 100 of them, then it's a bit more of a tricky thing. But there are lots of people out there that are lucky enough to have one or two games in the house. And I'm sure, I've only got one game at the moment, and that's my favourite game because it's here. And when that changes out, as you know, there's a lot to be said for having that quality time with the pinball. And I'm just thankful to have a machine here at all, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, this is it. We're extremely lucky. I was thinking it yesterday when the heat was blazing, and I was in. It was whatever it was, 38 degrees, whatever it might have been. Do you know what I mean? And then I was in here with
tucked up in there with the air conditioning on.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I was thinking I am a lucky boy. Do you know what I mean? That was going to lead me to not me being a lucky boy. There was something else as well I just wanted to cover before.
I've got a bit of news.
That was it. Yes, it was your news. Your news was part of it. Go on, carry on.
Oh right, okay. Well, apparently now I found an article. I'm going to have a little look here. So Nap Arcade has put an article up saying basically it's been confirmed that Stern have got Jaws as a title, but they get this, they don't have any of the rights to the actors. I'm reading this off the screen now. So no Richard Dreyfuss, no Robert Shaw, no Roy Schneider. Apparently they've only got the shark and the what's it say here?
And the boats.
I don't even know that they've got that, but I'm just trying to have a little look here. Just the shark and the concept. That was the word I was finding for, the concept. So
it could be worse, Spence. Not having the shark would be a major issue if they, do you know what I mean? If they release Jaws and there's there's a frog or something instead.
We're releasing Jaws. We've got no actors, no shark, and no music.
We're working on the license for the water.
Absolutely. So God knows. I mean, what you really want from that. I mean, harping back to Batman. There, one of the good things about Batman is I think it's got one of the best sort of tie-ins to the display that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's really well tied in, and it's very engaging. If you're not playing the game and you're just watching, not only are you able to watch the shots, but it's a very entertaining display. And I think with Jaws, you really, really need that scene where Roy Schneider's throwing the sort of the blood and guts into the water, and he turns away, and the shark just comes up. Now, you want that shot, and if you haven't got the rights to those actors, and also Richard Dreyfuss has got so many one-liners in that It's not a comedy, but he's got some really, really good lines in that movie. I'm assuming everybody's seen it, but he does come up with a whole lot of stuff. And if they haven't got Robert Shaw singing, Spanish ladies and all that sort of stuff, they're going to have to be creative. They're going to have to be.
Just change it slightly. Just change it slightly. Change their names ever so call him like Roger Short. They go, farewell and adieu to you, Portuguese ladies.
All of that.
So you just change it ever so slightly. We're gonna need a bigger catamaran, and just really, just a little tweak here and there. I'm betting.
What are they going to call the boat? It can't be called Orca.
no, Porker. Sorry, that's going to be on the thrush.
I was thinking, they could just stick with the whale theme and don't call it Orca and call it sperm or something, Well,
I was going to say Free Willy, but again, I'll probably use that on the thrush thing.
Well, that's a different theme. They'd have to pay for that. You see, that's more money.
They would fly, Willy, fly. Oh yes.
Good old Willie.
Oh, this weather.
No, nothing. Even nothing at Luton was flying yesterday, was it?
No. I'll tell you what though. So I don't know which one's which, right? So if whatever, this is serious problems here. Nice problems to have, as somebody reminded me. By the way, you have to keep this in mind. So if we got James Bond, which is going to be Gomez, which is my favourite designer, right? And then you've got Elwin's going to bring out Jaws.
Yeah, it does say here in the article that there is a likelihood it's Elwin designing Jaws.
That's serious issues because I've got no more space and no more money, right?
Well, you're screwed then, really, aren't you?
So it means, and I would want one of both of those games. That's serious issues. That's a conundrum, my friend.
Yeah, well, you've kind of been through it before, though, haven't you? Because when you first started off, obviously your first pin was Popeye, and you were never, I wouldn't say you were never going to get rid of that.
No.
But that was, it was your only pin, and you sort of pins have come and gone, and you've been through quite a list. But you remember Elvira? You were never getting rid of that. That was never going.
No. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But
and things change. If they brought out a Jaws, and we are lucky enough to be in a privileged position where we get to play some of these machines.
Yes.
You will have some quality time with it at home, and you'll be able to gauge actually whether it's something. And gauge sensibly, not just take a punt and then maybe have buyer's regret, or change your mind or realize that it isn't for you. You actually get the opportunity to play them and appreciate them in the privacy of your own home. And you'll make a decision based on it at that particular point. And you'll think, okay, well, I haven't switched on, just for argument's sake, I haven't switched on Attack from Mars in a month now. Well, there's your answer. You may not be happy getting rid of it.
Well, I'll tell you who wouldn't be happy, me selling it. That'd be Matt. That's his machine.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Post one up there. Hey,
for sale.
Absolutely.
One Attack from Mars.
£1 listing fees. Attack from Mars, all LED'd up, fresh things.
It's not the first time that we've virtually sold Matt's machine. Oh dear.
But no, it's but you get there and you think, okay, well, so what do I got? Godzilla, Monster Bash,
and
Batman,
actually you've done it recently with Jurassic Park. You've done it again because you got Jurassic Park all powder coated up, and you were right. I've been talking about Jurassic Park for the last 12 months. I got rid of mine. I'm a better player now. You got it in there. You got it powder coated. It's an absolutely storming machine. And it was only in there a matter of weeks.
But that's different. That's different because number one, I'd stopped playing it because I was finding it so hard, and I can't remember what number two is. But right, these are games that I obviously we're not Batman because it's had its bonnet up for ages, just waiting for it's not there because I don't like it. It's there because it's having stuff done. But Monster Bash, obviously Deadpool, you've got at the moment, and Godzilla. I'm just play these games.
Yes, yeah, you will.
There's nothing I've often had games of collection I don't play, particularly when other stuff's in there, and that's how you know. So this is, I do think we are looking at. I don't have to, I wouldn't even want to choose, but I Monster Bash, Batman, Deadpool. I would right at the top of the end for me in terms of games. That I love them. I absolutely love them. Spot for choice and a lovely thing. But yeah, they'd make it really, really interesting. Really, just to see what's going to happen.
Just put the names into a hat and draw one out.
I couldn't do it. No, they might not. They might not make it. And that's the thing. That's going to be a hell of a thing for someone to come up with. That's a hell of a thing for somebody to build a pinball machine that's better than Monster Bash, Deadpool, Batman, and Godzilla. Ain't easy. Most of them aren't as good as that.
No,
they're not. They're just not. Most of them aren't as good as that. It's as simple as that.
Well, really. actually, to somebody else, they probably will be. But for your preferences and your collection, that is almost your dream lineup. But having said that, I think there is room in there, possibly for an 80s machine. I think it would be quite interesting to find a slightly older machine that you gelled with on a whole different level for a completely different set of reasons.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm still hoping I'll speak to Keith at some point and we get his dolly up here. I'm in a lucky position where can borrow machines and people are so kind and generous and help out. Which is nice. Nice to have different machines on the channel as well, isn't it? So speaking of which, tomorrow. We're going to Medway Pinball Club to see Tony and Mike.
We are indeed. Now, I sorted out their domain for them. So it's www.medwaypinball.co.uk. There is a website going up there, but temporarily it's forwarding to their Facebook group. So they put a Facebook group on there. So there is some information available. If anybody wants to go and type in the URL or go and find them on Facebook, it's Medway Pinball.
Yes, please do go and join up, go and sign up. This is going to be a really, really good pinball club. All pinball clubs are good. Let's be fair, we all need them in this hobby, don't we? There's some.
Absolutely.
It's going to be really, really good. I can't wait to go up there. Can't wait to see. Well, it's been a long time since I've been up to, to where the pinball machines are. I know there's a lot of work's gone into it. Lots been done. Tony and Mike done an awful lot up there. And
they have been. They've been working really hard on it. Really hard.
Yeah, they have. And I'm looking forward to seeing the guys. Looking forward to seeing the setup they've got. We'll be doing a video up there as well, so we'll show all you guys what it's like. I'm actually excited for you, Spencer, because I know there are a number of machines. I'm nice like that. There's a number of machines up there. Yeah, well, don't we all?
It's the weather.
It is. Yeah. I'm looking forward to you seeing as well. Machines you haven't. It's just interesting. Funny enough, because there's a Guns N' Roses there as well, which I'm really interested.
Yeah.
You seeing that. Really hard to film, by the way. When I published the first Toy Story video was published yesterday on Pinball Heaven channel, on Phil's channel, and we've got, as we've already discussed, some Toy Story videos coming out. It was really when I was trying to balance the exposure and everything on there. The light shows are so intense on these JJPs, actually quite hard to well, you can film them, but they're quite hard in post-production to try and, so as the playfield's not so washed out, because it just keeps on, the lights are so bright, and when you're playing it, these fantastic light shows, the camera doesn't always react in the way that your eyes react to it. So
no, there's always a disconnect. When you're dealing with the camera, it's not like watching a pinball at all. It's very difficult to replicate that.
So I think I'm going to be really interested. I think you might be a little bit blown away when you see the detail that's gone into.
Actually blown away.
Well, not literally, no. But I think you might be. I think you might be impressed when you see the detail that's got into all the small component parts on the Guns N' Roses. Like with the ball lock in the guitar, in the Gibson guitar neck, the Fender guitar neck, and the drumsticks and the cymbals and all that stuff in there. I think you might think, wow, that is. It is like a museum to Guns N' Roses under glass. It's very impressive. There's some other games in there. I'm interested to see you play. So we'll have a couple of games of doubles and some. So hopefully, have a nice chat to the lads up there.
Well, yeah, I've got to go over their website stuff, and we'll be working out what's going to go up on their site, which will be good fun.
Well, you can do that. I'll play pinball.
Yeah, I'll have to put my professional hat on. Just as an aside as well, if anybody hasn't signed up for our Facebook page, we've got one. We'll stick a link down below. More the merrier on there. Show us what you're up to. And obviously, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel.
It depends what you're up to.
Subscribers.
It does depend. It's supposed to show us what you're up to.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm keen to see anything at all.
No. Yeah, we don't. Maybe we don't want to see what you're up to.
If it's pinball related, it's all good. Obviously, keep your holiday snaps off there.
I'd like people to post a picture of their favourite pinball machine.
That would be nice.
And
actually a brief explanation of why they like it, just in a few words. It's always interesting to see why people like different machines.
Because I like pinball.
Yeah, because it's nice.
Well, anyway, there you go. So I started. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I started the video by saying there wasn't much to talk about. Hour and 7 minutes later.
There's always something to talk about, mate. There's always something to talk about.
Ian was meant to be joining us, but he's not. But for nice reasons. So Ian will be coming on again soon. Hope to obviously get a couple more of these done to get up to the 52 before Pinfest. Thanks to everybody that's joined in, particularly over the last year, I've got to say, and sort of supported the channel, and been really, really nice. Been a lot of fun doing them. So we're nearly there. We're nearly.
Are we going to have a special sort of 50th banner that goes across the top there?
We could.
I think we ought to have a 50th Chinwag.
Anything banner. with this software. I've even got some pictures. Oh no, that's actually no. Don't
put those on.
They've all been. Oh, hold on, I forgot about this. I still got this here. Twilight Zones. I remember when they were giving them away. There you go. Got him. Got Terry.
Yeah. Good old Terry. Actually, you want to roll him out for a few other things as well.
I should do, mate. You know what?
We need more Terry.
I've been so bothered. I've been so bothered with the, with the price of timber and all the rest of it. So, it's astronomical, the price of timber.
It is. Sheet materials have been costly for a little while.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they're better than that.
Yeah, well, yeah. No.
I don't want the sheet materials. I want the
none of the sheets. None of the sheet. But right. But yeah, it's all gone a bit mad in the building world. But Celotex especially, you must have spent a fortune on that. Crazy price.
Well, I've been very lucky. I have a very, very lovely friend who you've met, Martin, down in Devon.
Yes.
Who gave me about 5 or 6 8x4 sheets, which helped massively.
Yes.
So I think I ended up only having to buy one sheet I was one sheet short. So yeah, and I've got a neighbour who is like the manager of Travis Perkin as well as John, who lives around the corner. So I called in some favours. I called in some favours. I know some people, and they're all really nice and helpful. So people, I don't know why you'd see somebody's pinball shed as a good cause, but I think people trying a Red Cross on the RNLI. Well, we just want to help out, mate. We just want to help out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We don't need dipping into your pinball funds, do we? No. That would be horrendous. A bit of crowdfunding. Actually, that might be a thing to do. If you want a pinball room, get a crowdfunding. It would be horrendous to get people to fund your hobby. Anyway, wouldn't it just? Thank you, everybody. Spencer Winkle, thank you. I'm off, sir. You take it easy. Right, always a pleasure. We're going. See you later. Have fun.